Hello, my YouTube subscribers and my subscribers to be. Thank you for tuning in to the Real News Talk Show. My show is Real News. I thank you all so very much for tuning in to my show today. And I'd like for you to click like, share, and subscribe so that I can continue and come back with more and more commentary on my personal point of views about things. And also, I would like for you to let me know some of your personal point of views. And you can leave the comments below. My topic today is about the Amber Guyger trial, the police officer that shot Botham John in his apartment when he was eating ice cream. It was wrapped up on yesterday where she was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Today it was just, I was just out and about today and talking to various people about what did they think about the situation, and everybody had their very own opinions, including me. I heard a lot of talk about, wow, why did he get off that stand and go and hug that white woman when she actually killed a black man in his own home with all of the evidence to prove it. Most people said that. And they was like, he is like way back, and he's taking black people way back in the times where they're just accepting abuse from the Caucasian people, and they are just really taking black people back in the hands of time. And then to top it off, the judge went and did the same thing after he did it and rubbed it in even more. Now, this is what I heard, you guys. This is what I heard on the streets. Why did he get off the stand, and why did he beg? Because he asked the judge, can I give her a hug? And the judge kind of paused a little bit, and then he said, please. And she paused just a half a second, and then she said, yes. This young man said that, he didn't even want his parents. He didn't know how they would feel about him doing that. So that was just his own personal feelings. And so that's what I was trying to tell some of the people that I talked to today. But everywhere I went, you guys, everywhere I went, people were very angry. And this was people of all different colors, whites, blacks. Everybody said that she should have gotten at least 20 years, 20 to 25 years. And then she should have did 10, and that would have been a better punishment for what she actually did for the crime. And they go, she just got a slap on the wrist, because even today I was eating lunch, and it was some young African-American men, and they were like, I guess they were in school, and they probably was on a lunch break or whatever at school, but they said, ma'am, did you hear about that lady that got 10 years that killed that black man, the cop that killed the black man and went in his home? And I said, yes, I did see that on TV. They go, well, guess what? It's a black guy just got 55 years for just being with someone, and he didn't even kill nobody. He was just with the person that did kill somebody, and he got 55 years. And I was like, are you serious? I didn't even know anything about that. And so I thought he was talking about the cop. Remember the cop where it was some kids, black kids in a neighborhood, and it was some type of party, and so someone called because of all the noise going on, and the cops came out, and a group of young African-American young men, teens or whatever, they were trying to get away. And so there was one particular cop that just shot in the car, and just shot in the car and shot one of them in the head, and he died. So he was found guilty. So I thought, I said, really? I said, that cop got 55 years? So I'm thinking, and this cop was Caucasian that killed a black guy. So I'm like, really? They gave the white cop 55 years for killing the young guy? He goes, no, ma'am. He said, I'm not talking about that case. And I said, well, what case are you talking about? He said there was a case, another incident, where it was two guys, and one of the guys did not do the killing, but he received 55 years, a black guy, in state penitentiary for actually just being with the person. And then I talk with several other people, and they go, "Oh yeah, my brother, he got life in prison for something he didn't do." And you just hear this stuff going on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And I was like, "Oh my God." I said, "Is it the jury or is it the system, or what do you think?" Because you can't put it on the judge, because the judge does not have the last say so. It's the jury. So a lot of people looked at the judge and Judge Tammy, I think it was Kemp. They looked at her because they go, "Look at her hugging on that woman. She never does that with a black guy. You never seen her hug a black guy and give him life in prison or the death sentence, and he never got a Bible or a hug. So what is her? She's like an Uncle Tom taking black people all the way back in the hands of time, of hugging on that girl, knowing that girl was guilty." So most people that I talked to today, they felt like that. It hit them in the gut so bad that that girl, when they all those racist remarks and all of this stuff that she had, that they found on her page, social media page, like Martin killed until Martin Luther King is dead, and all of this stuff about a racist dog, and I wear black, I'll be wearing it to your funeral, and I shoot to kill, and it was just so many racist remarks, which is why she probably did get 10. It may not even be it may not be because they could prove that she did not know that was her apartment, but the 10 years probably was because of the fact that when they looked at her history, of her failing the polygraph test at the Dallas Police Department, she failed. Smoking the marijuana, she said she smoked it 3 times. They know she smoked it more than 3 times. It was just so many things. And then she didn't turn in when she apprehended a guy and he got away with handcuffs. So she was written up for that. So it was a lot of misconduct that I feel, which is why she even got 10. She probably could have walked away if she didn't have a bad demeanor about herself and a bad conduct. And now back to the young man, Botham Jean's, I think it was Brandon John, Botham Jean's baby brother, when he got on that stand. And they are a very spiritual family. They have God within their hearts. So today I was talking to a friend of mine, and he's an attorney also, and we were just talking about it, and also he's in school for Christianity. And I asked him, I said, was it really God that made him say that? Because I've never seen anybody in court hug somebody and tell them they love them, they really, really love them, when that person actually killed their loved one, and the way Botham Jean was killed. He said, you know what? He said that it was good that happened. He said it was good that happened because that let her know that just because she has hatred in her heart, or she may be a racist or whatever, that love can heal everything, and that the love that they have in their heart, they still can forgive her. And he said that will make her feel really probably different if indeed she does have a heart. And so I was asking him about the judge, because nobody's never seen that. I said, well, if that's the case, maybe they should do it for all of the criminals, the black and the white criminals. Give them a hug and give them some encouragement in jail, because that could actually start them off to going on into the prison system with love on them, opposed to going with hate on them into the system. And so he did agree on that. And so in my mind, I felt that that young man probably is just like, he's so spiritual the way he was raised. And like he said, Botham Jean would have wanted him to tell her that, Amber Guyger that also. He's so spiritual until he has a one-shot mind. He don't know anything about evil. His heart is young. His heart is pure. He was raised in church. As everybody knew, Botham Jean, he was raised in church singing in the choir. His mother has a strong spirit, because she didn't say anything negative about what her son said. so everybody's thinking on the same accord. Now, oftentimes people get under ministry and they are blind to the real world because they're in another world in their mind. So this young man only had God on his mind and how God did ask people to forgive the bad person, no matter what. He even told her, I love you just like I love anybody else. He was taught that in church. He was taught that because the Bible said, love thy enemy. And so that possibly could have touched her, but no one would know until later on when she gets out, even though everybody feels that she didn't get enough time. But it could be enough time for her, because some people can take imprisonment and some can't. So being a police officer, that's going to be very difficult for her, and you never know how the people are going to treat her when she's in there. So that could be the 10 years. We may think it's not enough time, but we don't know what she's going to endure in the time that she received. You see what I'm saying? Another thing with that young man, I feel that because he was with the one-track mind, he felt like he had to do that to free himself. That could have possibly freed him up from the pain that he was going through. See, no one thought about that either. He could have been, it looked awkward. It looked awkward. It felt awkward. When I saw it, I just couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. But then when I really started thinking about it, that could have healed his pain. Nobody thought about that. It could have healed his pain because, like he said, it's not for my family. This is what I need to do. And so another person I talked to about the situation, and I asked him, I said, well, what do you think? Do you think that young man, what do you think about that situation when that young man, do you really think he really do forgive her? Do you really think he really do love her? And he said, this particular person said, yes, in his mind, because the devil got a hold of him through the religion, his religion. Even though he has God, but the devil came in and made him do that to make that girl feel good because of what she's done and to make her feel like she really didn't do anything. He said that was the devil. And he also said that if he really truly wanted to ask God to forgive her and tell God that he forgives her, then he didn't have to go into public and do it and make everybody else pain that didn't feel like he was feeling. You see what I'm saying? He was feeling the pain and he felt like he needed to do that. But this particular person told me that he did not have to do it to hurt the other people that's protesting for Botham Jean. And he said that he could have went in a closet, went in a room and prayed for her and asked God to forgive her and all of that, because God would have heard him without him making the world feel like he was being silly or stupid or dumb or ignorant or back in slavery days, licking up to people. That's how people felt like he was licking up. But he is a young child and he probably just needed to free himself because he did cry when he was saying that. So it's just a lot of comments I see online, and the majority of the people feel like she should have gotten more time because they're looking at all the other people that get more time for smaller crimes. And so, but like today I was speaking with an attorney and I said, well, can she get retried if they find something else on her? Because a lot of times people says the story just does not add up because they don't know if Botham Jean let her in that house. They could have had a relationship. She could have heard him having sex with somebody. Nobody really knows what went on between her and Botham Jean. And also they were saying that the apartment people, because it was said that she was a police off duty with the apartments or something like that, that they should have subpoenaed those people to court too to find out if they had any connections with her or talked to her about the weed smoking in the building and what really went on between Botham Jean and her, because it just doesn't seem right. and that he would have his door closed. No one would leave their door open at night eating ice cream. So we were discussing that between me and some people, and they were saying that it could have been that he opened that door and let her in because of a relationship they could have had, and then because she was angry because of something that could have happened and could have shot her. Nobody knows what went on with that, because I don't think that she would have wanted to kill him because of the marijuana that was mentioned from the apartments, that the people said there was a lot of weed smoking going on, because later on it came out that she smoked weed too. So it couldn't have been that. Was it a relationship? Will it all come out? And now the next thing is those attorneys are going after her ex-boyfriend, who was her partner at the police department, because of the fact that those text messages were deleted, that he deleted the text messages, and also he didn't know what they were talking about. The prosecutor didn't know what they were talking about when she pulled over. So you see, it was still some stuff that wasn't quite right. And the bottom line is, like I said, the reason they possibly had given her that 10 years, and I tell people, the African American people, I said, well, 10 years is better than nothing, because she could have walked away like a lot of police officers do. I said she could have walked away, but when they saw that she had all this racist stuff online, how she had shot a man last year, and how she had been written up at the police department for not turning in the guy that ran away after she handcuffed him, and the weed smoking, and fell in the polygraph test. It was so many negatives. They had to give her something. And she is very lucky to have gotten just only 10 years, you guys. Really. And I wouldn't care what color you are. Right is right and wrong is wrong. I felt that she should have at least gotten 25 years, or even 20. And she could have done 10, because she's 31. When she gets out, she's still going to be in her 30s. But look at all these cases that these people are getting life for having drugs on them and never killed anybody, and especially killed somebody in their own house. Look at the man that just got 55 years. I mean, there are a lot of people in prison that are in prison for nothing, and they're getting life. Matter of fact, I remember talking to a girl that used to work in the prison system, and I just met her in passing. I don't even know her, but she used to work in the prison system. She said like 2 years or something like that. And she said, oh yeah, in that prison system, she says, there are people in there that actually haven't done anything, and they got accused of a crime. And I said, really? I said, have you ever felt sorry for anybody in prison? I mean, have you ever really felt sorry for anyone? She says it was one person that she felt sorry for, you guys. And she said it was a young man that begged her to show her his text messages. I don't know how she was able to get them or whatever, that the other person admitted on the messages, text messages, off of his cell phone. Somehow she got it. Somehow he helped her get it or whatever. And she says a lot of crooked stuff going on between these jailers and these inmates. She said people be smuggling drugs in there. People be doing all kinds of crazy stuff in the prison system. And she said that young man actually didn't do it because she saw the text message for herself. And he asked her, could you help me? And she said she did everything she could, but he was already locked up in the system. Nobody wants to go back and try to look at his stuff once he's in. You know, it's just like Amber Guyger. She got that 10 years, and my attorney friend was saying it would be double jeopardy. That 10 is 10. She got the 10. She can get out on good behavior with 5 on parole, and call it a day. That's the way it is. And people were upset because it did look a little different. She was getting stroked, getting her hair stroked, getting her body stroked, getting that good hug from that young man, and all of that as if she didn't do nothing. I just couldn't understand it. I really couldn't. But like I said, That young man had to be an angel to do that. When it all boils down, no matter how everybody feels, no matter how I feel, he had to free himself in order for him to get up there. I don't think he was a hunk of tom or a white liquor or all of this, whatever people are saying. I think that little boy had to do that. You know he had to do that if he did that in front of his family who was grieving. He was in so much pain. This was something he had to do to free himself from the pain that she inflicted on him. Because like he told her, he didn't want nothing bad to happen to her. He didn't want nothing bad to happen to her like it did his brother. He told her that. Because the pain that he felt that she put on him, he had to let go in some way or the other. And that was his way, no matter whether we like it or not. And so when the judge saw him, I think that opened the door for her to step forward. Because he made his mark. He made and opened up the door for her, because I saw her crying on the stand. So when she saw the love of that little boy in his heart, she cried, and then she went and took the Bible to the girls. So she just continued on from where that little boy started. That little boy made an impact, and when he made that impact, then she made her move after that. But he opened up that door for her to go behind him and tell her, I'm sorry, and it's going to be all right. But the thing of it is, the reason African American people are angry because they never saw her do that with anybody else that was African American, her own. That was the thing. That was the key right there, which is why I was hearing all of these negative remarks today, and it was because of that. And, people it's just real. It's not anything anybody is faking about. I mean, and half of the people I was talking to, they're not prejudiced, but they just said that in this particular case, to see that judge hugging her, and they never seen her hug a black man that possibly didn't deserve the time that he got. This world is something else. It is something else. And another thing, in my eye, when little Brandon John went to tell Amber, I love you. I love you. Well, again, that other person that said that was the devil could have been the devil through God in him. Because remember when it takes you back to like Jim Jones. Remember when he had all those people under his spell? It's like a one-track mind. And because they loved him, Jim Jones, they all died. So sometimes you got to watch religion too, because you can get confused in it. However, God did say forgive your enemy. He did say forgive your enemy, but you could forgive it without hurting other people while you're doing it. So that was the thing. A lot of people were hurt when they saw him do that because they feel like she did not get enough time enough for them to do that. And then listen, you guys, so another person said, well, he was smart. They said he was smart and the judge was smart too. And I said, what makes you guys say that? What makes you guys say that? And they said, because of the fact they didn't tell her anything until after she got sentenced with something. Because had they been doing that prior, she probably would have walked free. And I was like, whoa, wow. So yeah, he didn't, I'm not sure. I think he was on the stand before. They say he never told her he loved her. None of the family members never told her they loved her and that they forgave her until after she got sentenced. And the thing of it is, he said he didn't want her to go to prison. This was another thing, to show he was a little young and a little green, because if you didn't want her to go to prison, or if they didn't want her to go to prison, why were they all there waiting for justice? Why? If you didn't want somebody to go to prison and you really loved them, then you wouldn't have been fighting for the justice that you was fighting for. So that shows you that little boy really was confused. and just in pain when he was doing that. So when he was hugging Amber Guyger, it was actually his healing process. It was to help him. It was to help him, and it was to, like my attorney friend said, it was to make her feel like she was full of hate, and that will stick with her in prison. Because whenever God made a man, I don't care if they hate, they prejudice, what, this, that, or other. Prejudice can be in all races. It can be in all races. But when you're a human being and God made you and made all the people in the world, who in the hell are we to be trying to hate on somebody? He's going to solve that problem in one way or the other, no matter how people think about it. He will solve the problem towards the end or before the end. All the people that hate people, in the end, before they leave this world, they're going to be begging for forgiveness. Trust me. Because every knee must bow and every tongue shall confess. I don't care how tough you are. I don't care how much you hate. I've seen people that been in prison for hate crimes, and then they turn to God and say, oh, I remember I was very prejudiced and I didn't really like the other races, and I asked God and he changed my life. And some of them end up marrying black people, and some of the black people that hated people end up marrying white people. See, when a person and a man born in this world trying to hate on somebody, that's crazy. That's just a myth. That's just nothing. That's zero. That's zero, because they don't know who is the hero, and the hero is God Almighty. I'm gonna end it with that, you guys. And Amber Guyger got her 10 years. She's in state penitentiary now. That 10 years to her might be like a lifetime. Nobody knows, but it is what it is. And people have to just move on to something else and to try and pray and stop all this other crime from happening, period, and stop the police department from killing people in general for no reason, unarmed people, because we can't do anything about that 10 years with Amber Guyger. We can't. So let it go, move on, and just fight for justice for our people not to be shot up like dogs in the streets. Because no one will want their family to be shot up. That's a painful thing. That's a painful thing for someone to just take away your child, your mother, your sister, your brother, your baby, your dog. Not even a dog. You don't want nobody killing your dog for no reason. Just say if you had a beautiful little dog and the dog was in the house chilling and somebody just come in and, man, no, that's not good. So all this stuff has to stop, and it is what it is. And so we have to move on and be thankful that she will be paying for what she did. She went into his house. She committed a crime. They have the evidence to prove. Before I go, please click like, share, and subscribe so I can come back with some more commentary on thoughts and people and things. Before I go, like I said, the reason she got 10 years and not life or not 99, because of the fact that it was that law that she could have been blind to the fact, which everybody know she wasn't, or she shouldn't have been. She should not have been, unless she was high on something and nobody knew, and she overlooked everything because her mind. Some people can't even get high. They couldn't prove that. They could not prove that she didn't know where she was. And they could not prove that she did not see him because of the light, unless she was blind. Everybody knows she saw him. But they couldn't prove it because of the fact that she could have had that blind law, like they said. I know how everybody feels, but they had to prove it or if a camera was there, like to say, see them getting into a confrontation, or see him open the door and let her in, or something of that sort. You see what I'm saying? She could have gotten life at that point. At that point. So it is what it is. So something is better than nothing, and thank God she did get some time for murdering him. It's just that everybody feels she did not get enough. Please click like, share, and subscribe, and I'll be coming back with more. Thank you for tuning in to the Real News Talk Show. Bye.